Parshas Yisro, Ois Aleph. This is a fascinating word. Let's try to keep track. This is beautiful. Listen to this. In this week's Parsha, Vayishma Yisro, Yisro heard. What did he hear? He heard there was a nest of Yitzias Mitzrayim. But that's not all. He heard there was about the Kriyas Yamsif. The Yamsif was split into two. Am Yisrael went through, and the Egyptians all drowned. And he heard the nest of Menachem Amalek. And then the pasuk continues, the first pasuk in this week's Parsha. Eis kol she'aseh leMoshe u'leYisrael Amoi. And Rashi HaKodesh, look it up, it's Gvaldik. Rashi tells us, why does it have to say specifically Moshe, separately from all of Am Yisrael? Am Yisrael, Yisrael includes Moshe. So the pasuk should have just told us, Eis kol she'aseh leYisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu was a part of Am Yisrael. So Rashi HaKodesh, look it up, says no. Moshe Rabbeinu was a part of Am Yisrael, but the koyach, the power that Moshe Rabbeinu had, the schus, the merits that Moshe Rabbeinu had, Moshe Rabbeinu was shokol. He weighs against all the koyach of all of Am Yisrael together. So it's Moshe and Yisrael, the equal one across the other. Take this Zera Shimshon, but why exactly here by Yisrael? Why now do you have to remind? Of course, Moshe Rabbeinu, the Tzaddik Ador, he's equal, equivalent to all of Am Yisrael. But why do you have to remind down Parshas Yisrael? Listen to this. Look the Heilige Zera Shimshon. The Gemara Masechta Soitiyud Beis Gemara tells us that the reason they said that all kol habein hayiloid hayoira tashlechiu, every single boy that's born, only the boys, straight to the water, dumps them in the water, dumps them into the Niles. You have to get rid of them. Because it's the Gnina, they're stargazers. And the Mechashvim by Parai told Parai, you should know. The Moshiach Shel Yisrael, the one who's going to help and take the Am Yisrael out of Egypt, we see in the stars that he will be hit. He'll finish his life because of water. So we have to think of a way to finish his life in the water before he can help anybody. And that's why the verdict, the terrible Zera to throw all the boys was all because of Moshe Rabbeinu. And that was the only Zera. They worked hard. All the other things that Am Yisrael did in Mitzrayim were not because of Moshe Rabbeinu. But this specific thing of throwing all the children, the boys, and only the boys, into the water was only because of Moshe Rabbeinu. And the day that Moshe Rabbeinu was thrown into the Nilus, he wasn't thrown, he was put in the basket. But that day they saw that Stignim, the stargazers, come running to by, they said, that's it. We finished. The Mashiach Yisrael we see in the stars that he's already in the water. And that day, they will mevatel the entire Gezerah. That's it. The verdict was over. And from then on, no more children were thrown into the Niles. Nobody. And that's what Moshe Rabbeinu told them so many years later. Sheishmeis Elef Ragli, there are 600,000 Ragli. Chazal tells us it means because of me. Because of me, all of you are here. Because if not me, you all been thrown into the Niles. That's what he's telling them. So Moshe Rabbeinu telling them, yes, it's not only I'm across you because I'm just as equivalent, I have this chusim of you, but all that you all are here is only because of me. Before we continue, how does it come Yisro into the story? Musik Midvash is so sweet. Yisro was the one that when the verdict came around, there were three, it was a cabinet meeting. And who was sitting there was the three closest advisors of Parai, the highest ranking ministers. And they were Eov, Bilam, and Yisro. Eov Shosak. He was quiet, he was silent, and that's why he got Yisro. Why sitting silent? Bilam was the one who gave the idea, and he pushed it. He was the one who was killed, Bilam Arasha. And the third, Yisro, he stood up and he said, no, I'm not going to let this verdict pass. Not only did he say his opinion, but he actually got up and he said, if it's going to pass, I'm leaving. He left the cabinet with Bizyonis. He was fired. He had to run and escape to Midian. And there as well, he was scoffed and scorned. And that's why he was Zoichet to be the Shver of Moshe Rabbeinu and have his children in the Lishkas HaGozis. When did it all come around? When they were speaking about this Gzeira, the verdicts. That was because of Moshe Rabbeinu, Kol Habein Hayiloi, Hayoret Tashlechiu. And that's why, now when Yisro wants to come, he feels that his whole reason, his whole merit is that he saved Moshe Rabbeinu. And that's because of Moshe Rabbeinu, they're all here, all the Am Yisrael. So he feels, Moshe, because of him, all the other Am Yisrael is there. And I had a part, even though I didn't succeed in my part, but I did my bit. Now it's not over yet. What did Yisro hear? What brought him running? Yisro heard Kriyas Yamsuf. What's Kriyas Yamsuf? What was the story of Kriyas Yamsuf? Why did Hashem bring about that all the mitzvahs should be drowned in the Yamsuf? Middah Keneged Middah. Because they threw the boys into the Nilos. Aha! Perfect. It's wonderful. Geknippt and gebitten from the beginning to the end. Yisro was the one who escaped when they wanted to make the Gzeir again because of Moshe Rabbeinu. And then when they threw him, when he stopped laughing through Moshe Rabbeinu, all the other Am Yisrael were saved, and therefore Moshe Rabbeinu shakal against all of them. He's equivalent to all of them because of him, they're all alive. And the reason they were thrown into the Yam and they all drowned was also because of Moshe Rabbeinu, because of Moshe Rabbeinu, they made this verdict that whoever was born, only the boys should be thrown in. And that's where they were thrown into the Yam. That's where it comes in. Beautiful.